Today's recipe calls for strawberries. I'm going to show you how to make the best summer salad ever, also known as strawberry spinach salad. It's very easy to slap together and it's dang tasty. So with that said, let's get started.
The first thing we need to do to make this easy, simple strawberry summer salad is prep the fruit. Snag 1 pound or 462 grams of fresh strawberries. Using a paring knife, cut the green top off all of the strawberries. Do your best not to cut too much of the berry when you do this task. A paring knife is perfect for this job because it's small, making it easier to control during the cutting process. A little fun fact, you can eat the green leafy stuff that's on top of the strawberry. I've tried it a few times and I think it's a little bitter, so I avoid eating them. Anyways, lay the bright red fruit on its side and then simply slice the top off. Another way to cut them is to pull the leaves off first. Then lay the strawberry on its side and use the tip of your blade to follow the core around the strawberry. Don't push your blade too deep, that's why we only use the tip. When you make the little round cup, it'll pop out a little strawberry plug. This version is a little more precise with less waste, but it can be a tad bit tricky and it takes more time. Choose the method that works best for you and repeat the same step until everything has been handled. Toss the top in the trash, or I guess you could save them for a smoothie because zero waste or whatever. Now that you have topless strawberries, we need to cut them into slices. Place the goods on the flat tops. Using the tip of your paring knife, make fairly thin slices of fruit. Cut things into sections that are roughly 1/8 to 1/4 inch thick. The last little piece may be a bit tricky to cut because it will not be stable. Simply lay it flat and cut it into the same size sections as before with the slices. They'll end up being sticks, but it'll be fine. Repeat the same slicing action until all the berries have been cut. Once you're done with that, set it aside so we can move on to the next thing. Oh, also, your wooden cutting board may stain a little from the juices, but it'll eventually go away. If you don't want that to happen, use a different board. Alrighty then, on to the next item, which is a small red onion. Cut the top off, which is the opposite end of the hairy root side. Then cut the veg into 2 equal sections. We'll only be using half, so save the other half for another recipe. Whatever side you decide to use, peel all the paper skins off. Slice the onion from front to back into thin sections. We're shooting for the same thickness as the strawberries. If you forgot, it's 1/8 to 1/4 inch thick. A little pro tip, if you're sharing this salad with someone that does not like onion, ensure you cut the strawberries first and then the onion afterwards. You want to do this because the onion juices will be on your cutting board, which in turn will cause the strawberries to soak up that strong flavor, causing them to taste like an onion. So that means for someone that doesn't like them, will just end up being sad about it. Also, if you want to knock off some of the strong flavor the onion holds, soak them in cold water for a couple of minutes. This will cause them to release the sulfur compounds they hold, making them less pungent in flavor. It'll also cause them to become crispier if you're going this route. Drain and pat dry the goods really well before you add it to the salad. Alright, enough about those dang things. Snag 10 ounces or 284 grams of the green leafy stuff known as spinach. This next step is optional, just depends on the eating experience you prefer and the type of spin that you are going to use. We need to take off the stems from all of our leafy greens. I'm using baby spinach and the stems tend to be stringy, so that's why we're taking them off. If using the same type of greens I'm using, you can totally skip this part and save yourself some time. If you're using a different type, check the stems. If they feel woody and tough, then you need to rip the stems off. This is kind of a restaurant secret to provide a more elevated eating experience. I honestly don't bother doing this in my normal everyday life. I just wanted to share some knowledge. Save the stems to toss them into a smoothie because greens are good for you. Also, one last thing, sift through the spinach and toss out any soggy leaves. Next, prep out your cheese by taking it out of the package. Probably the hardest part of this entire recipe. We'll be using a 5 ounce or 148 gram block of Greek sheep's milk feta cheese. If feta isn't your thing, another great option is goat cheese or some boring white cheddar will work as well. Next, collect a saute pan and 3/4 cup or 64 grams of sliced almonds. Take this collection of goods over to your heating source. Place the pan on the cooking element and crank the heat to a medium-low level of hotness. Toss some nuts into the pan, then realize your pan is too small and exchange it for a large one. Dry toast the almonds for around 6 to 7 minutes or until things become a nice golden brown color and things become fragrant in smell. Throughout the process, give the almonds a flippy floppy or stir around to prevent things from burning because they're so expensive. This will also help achieve an even toast on them. Toast them to a light golden color. They will carry over cook, so going too dark could cause them to become burnt and bitter. When things have become nice and toasty, toss them onto a half tray to cool down. Now onto making the dressing. Using the same saute pan, add in 1 1/2 tablespoons of poppy seeds. Toss the pan over the heat source using the same heat level of mid to low hotness. Dry toast the poppy seeds for 2 to 3 minutes or until they become slightly darker. It's hard to tell the color change, so it's best to base the doneness off the smell. They'll become very fragrant when this occurs. Once you hit this point, take them off the heat and toss them onto a half tray to cool down. When that's going on, we can start slapping the dressing together. Snag a small holding device to mix the goods together. Using a liquid measuring device, measure out a 1/4 cup or 60 ml balsamic vinegar. Add this to the bowl. Following the vinegar, add some fat of 3 tablespoons of a good tasting neutral oil. For example, like olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or basically whatever you fancy. To counterbalance the acid from the vinegar, add in 1 1/2 tablespoons of honey. Next, add in half a teaspoon Dijon mustard. This will add a little bit of flavor, but most of all, this will act as a emulsifier, causing the vinegar and oil to come together. Whisk your face off to bring all the goods into one mess of things. Then dump in the toasted poppy seeds. Give those little bitty things a mix in as well. Taste test the dressing and season as needed with some coarse ground kosher salt. This is a good opportunity to adjust the flavor profile as needed. Add more honey if you want it to be sweeter, or add more vinegar for a more acidic flavor. I added about another tablespoon or 2 of vinegar and a teaspoon of honey to hit the flavor I like. Keep working it till you achieve goodness. Alright, now that you've prepped everything out, it's time to make this summer salad. Snag your favorite eating vessel and set it aside for now. Use a small to medium-sized bowl to build your salad. At this point, use as much or as little of each ingredient to build your bowl of healthy stuff. Dump in a handful of spin into the bowl. Following that, add a small pinch of coarse ground kosher salt. It's imperative to always season your salad to help elevate the natural flavors of the ingredients. Next, add in some strawberry slices. Avoid adding any of the juices. We don't want a soggy salad. Add some sliced onion. Break up any pieces that may be stuck together. Following that, add in a few pieces of toasted almonds. Lastly, make it rain some spoonfuls of dressing. Also, give the dressing a mix before you add it to the salad. Things will settle and separate a bit while it sets for too long. Add enough of the salad sauce that will lightly coat the greens. Adding too much and you'll have a soup of salad. Lightly mix the bowl of goods until everything has been coated in the dressing. If things look overdressed, add more spinach to help disperse the extra liquid. Transfer the salad over to your eating bowl. For the best look, place things in the center of the bowl, stacking the greens on top of one another so that it builds a tower of food. Doing it this way will make things look nice and full, giving it a pleasing look. Garnish the salad with some extra slices of onion and strawberries. Sprinkle a few toasted almonds atop as well. To finish it off, crumble some feta on. Share this salad with your friends, or add some grilled chicken or even some grilled shrimp to take it to the next level of goodness. Whatever you decide to do, just enjoy.
Alright, now that our salad is done, let's give it the old taste-a-roo. So looking at it, it came out extremely aesthetically pleasing. We got some nice height to it, and the colors are just popping with that white feta on top, those bright red strawberries, the purple red onions, then of course that green in there as well from the spinach. Then we got a nice golden brown color from our toasted almonds. Overall, it just looks super tasty and like it's going to be very, very refreshing. So let's give it the old taste. Try to get a bite with everything. I want a huge bite though. This thing came out super dank tasty. It's very light and refreshing. So spinach on its own can be a little bit strong and bitter in flavor, for me at least, but the honey in our dressing and the natural sugars and sweetness from our strawberries help cut through that. Then our red onion brings that distinct flavor as well. It's not overpowering by any means. That little feta we sprinkled on top brings a little bit of saltiness to help cut through that sweetness from the strawberries and the honey. Then the almonds got that sweet, delicious toast on them, so they bring a ton of goodness to the table. The dressing itself brings that nice, rich fattiness from the olive oil, but then the acid in the balsamic vinegar helps cut through that fat and the sugar. Then the toasted poppy seeds bring a ton of goodness as well and takes it to the next flavor profile. Texture-wise, the almonds are nice and crunchy, so is the spinach and red onion. Then that feta on top brings a nice creaminess as well. Overall, this thing is just super tasty. You can tell because I pretty much ate the whole thing. This summer salad is super simple to knock out. That's quite the tongue twister. And you can pretty much make this thing any which way that you would like. Maybe get rid of the toasted almonds because you're not a huge almond fan, and maybe use some candied pecans or walnuts. Or get real bougie and get rid of the feta and use some goat cheese, which sounds super tasty. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. And I'm gonna go do way more dishes than I should have to, which sounds boring, but anyways, I'm gonna go do that and we'll see you on the next one. Spinach on its own, that's not how you wanted this started. I'm gonna go do way more dishes than I should. Dishes. So you feel good and that strong